Hi there, welcome back to the Belle Originals YouTube channel. Today I am going to take you through all of my rituals that I go through to get myself prepared for a new project. My project that is going to follow this ritual video is a new lunch bag for my husband per his request, and it's very rare that he asks me for anything, so of course I'm going to give him a new lunch bag. Why wouldn't I? So I'm going to show you all the things that I do to get myself ready. I will not be using this machine that's over my shoulder. This is my first machine, technically not my first machine, but the machine that I've had the longest. It was the machine that I bought when I was still quilting, and I stopped quilting because I started to develop shoulder issues, and that's what led me to start doing research on bag making, and led me down the path of least resistance, which made me the bag maker that I am now. So I am going to show you the machine that's in front of me, which you can't see at the moment, but you will soon, which is my Janome HD9. I make 99% of everything that I sew on this machine, and I've had it since January this year, and I have fallen deeply, madly in love with this machine. It really, there's nothing it can't handle. So it is a semi-industrial machine and can really tackle just about anything. I am going to show you how I unwind a bobbin and get it ready for a new thread, how I wind a new bobbin with thread, how I load thread into my machine, aka thread my machine, how I change a needle, and I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and how I load the bobbin into the machine. All of these things did not come second nature to me when I got this machine. I was very intimidated by the machine, and honestly, the instruction manual that I keep over here off to the side here has really just the basics on how to do get the machine going, and but it doesn't have the nuances. I'd like to be able to share some of the nuances with you that I've learned through other resources, and hope that if you use this machine, hopefully they will become beneficial for you as well. So I'm going to get myself ready, and we'll be right back to get going on my ritual. Let me introduce you to Naomi Janome. This is my my pride and joy. I feel so fortunate to have this machine, which has treated me so nicely, and I wouldn't trade it for anything, honestly. It is a semi-industrial machine and has a lot more torque and power and strength than a domestic machine. If I compare it to the Singer that's off to my right here that I bought when I was quilting, it has a lot fewer bells and whistles than the Singer, but makes up for it in its power and its ability to power through bulky seams and give amazing top stitching. So honestly, this is the machine that's best suited for bag making, in my opinion. Having never tried some of the industrial machines that many bag makers use, I really don't have a frame of reference to compare it to, but I just know that I love this machine, and she makes me very happy. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the most, oh my gosh, mind-blowing tip that I got from somebody on a reel somewhere along the way, and that is how to unwind what's left of the thread on a bobbin. This is the last bobbin that I was using on my previous project, and obviously it doesn't have that much thread left, and it's not the color thread that I'm planning on using for this project, so I want to get rid of it. And rather than just trying to hold on to the bobbin, which is incredibly slippery, and pull the thread out that way, this person showed that you can simply put it on your bobbin spool and keep it in place and pull the thread off while it's in position. This keeps the bobbin from flying all over the place, and oh my gosh, did you see how fast that was? I got it all off that quickly. So if you haven't thought to do that before, that's just a quick little tip that I thought I'd share with you. That should make things a lot simpler and go more quickly for you. So the next thing I'm going to do is change the needle. And if you notice, I've put a piece of fabric underneath the presser foot where the needle is dangling above. And that is so that when I unscrew the screw to loosen the needle housing, the needle won't accidentally fall down underneath here and get wedged in any of this area where the feed dogs are. This is less likely to happen on this machine than it would have been on my Singer, my domestic Singer, but it's still a practice that I use every time I change the needle. So I have the little screwdriver that came with my machine, and I'm going to loosen the screw, but not unscrew it all the way, and the needle just slides out. This may seem really elementary, and I'm sure all of you know how to change the needle in your machine at this point, but you never know, somebody might find this information beneficial. So I'm just going to take you through my ritual. So I'm going to put the used needle in a safe place and get a new needle out. And as a general rule with this machine and for the bags that I make, I tend to use the same needle, the same size for everything. I have learned that the type of thread that I use, which is for the most part a Tex 45 weight thread, for all of my bag making, works best with a top stitch needle. So this is the top stitch needle that I use. I am not an affiliate. I am not getting paid. I'm just showing you what I use, and they're readily available on Amazon or Waywack, or plenty of suppliers carry this type of needle. The top stitch needle has a larger eye, and the thread feeds through the eye so much better, which causes much less likelihood that your thread is going to break. So I got my needle out, and the needle in this machine these needles have one flat side, and the flat side goes into the needle housing with the flat side to the right. So hold the needle so that the flat side is facing the right, and then slide it up into the housing and tighten it with your fingers, and then finish tightening it with the screwdriver, and the needle is in. That was super duper easy. The next step in my ritual is to oil the machine. And there are 3 spots that a couple of drops of oil in each of the areas will go a long way. Oiling at the beginning of every project is good housekeeping. It's just good practice. So that's what I try to do. I try to remember to do it. I don't always remember. I'm human. But on this machine, there's a hole right up here near the bobbin winder. There's a hole right above, I can't remember what this thing's called, but the thing that goes up and down, that makes your needle go up and down. There's a hole right here. And then there's a small area inside the bobbin area. I don't know if, I'm not really gonna lean the camera forward, but there's a small area just inside here that looks like it has foam, and if you can see, I think I can get the camera close enough to watch me drip it right into this little area. if the oil will come out. Hello, just one little drop, please. There we go. Oh, I missed. All right, finally got it in there. Okay, and now I'm going to drip 2 drops into this hole. And lastly, I'm going to drip 2 drops into this hole. And that's it. Now my machine is oiled. By the way, this machine and all of the Janome specific supplies that I use, the bobbin case, the machine itself, and even the oil that I just used, I purchased from Ken's Sewing Center. Again, I am not an affiliate. I'm not getting any kind of kickbacks for mentioning them, but I just wanted you to know that's where I purchased these items, and also extra bobbins for the Janome HD9, which are larger capacity and heavier weight. They're extra large bobbins compared to a domestic machine. So I buy extra of these from Ken's Sewing Center. Super great customer service, and they're there to help you every step of the way. So highly recommended. But next I'm going to show you how to wind the bobbin. So, oh, I can't do that yet. I have to put the thread on. So this is the spool of thread that I'm going to be using. It's navy thread. It is Tex 45. It's from Waywack. It's a poly bonded thread, and this net is so super helpful. It keeps the thread winding smoothly, helps the thread unwind smoothly, and continue to go through the machine smoothly. So as you can see, I am fiddling trying to get the thread end through the net. But so you feed the thread in through the net and put the net on, and now it's got a nice, secure but gentle dress, if you will. Also on my thread spool holder, I have this fun little thing that when in place keeps the thread spool stable and keeps it from vibrating and wanting to fly off your machine as you're sewing. This machine can go really high speeds, so having that on is it's always a smart decision. But so I have my thread on the spool, and I'm winding it through the, forgive me, I don't know the technical term for this this fun little arm, but winding it through that. And now I'm going to wind it through the channels that are in place for winding a bobbin. And I am going to feed it into the bobbin, put it in on the bobbin spool, flip the little arm forward, hold the tail, and wind. And after you've wound it for several rotations, trim the tail off and continue to wind. This will automatically stop when the bobbin is full. Doesn't take long, super fast, especially at this weight of a thread. And now we're finished. So you slide it off, trim the thread, and now I have it ready to feed into the bobbin case. This is the bobbin case. The solid part will be in your left hand if you're left-handed. I'm right-handed, or excuse me, yeah, if you're right-handed, the bobbin case will be in your left hand because it's easier to do everything else with your right hand. So the enclosed part of the bobbin case is in my left hand, leaving the open part of the bobbin case facing right. The thread is coming off of the bobbin. If you look at it up and down, the tail is at the top, not coming from the bottom. So we feed it into the case that way, and there is a little slit right here that you simply pull that through, and then you pull it forward through the rest of this slit area. And now your bobbin is in, your fully loaded bobbin is in the case. Some instructions say to hold the bobbin in place by this little arm that pulls out, and it does keep the bobbin from falling out holding it that way. But I find that if I just leave it alone and just simply take it straight into the machine and onto the knob that's in there where you place the bobbin and push until you hear it click, that's all you need to do. And so I have a couple of inches of a thread tail hanging out, and that's just the way you leave it. And then put the plate back on, close it up, and now we're ready to thread the machine. So now I am ready to thread the machine, and I'm going to follow the steps that are illustrated on the front of the machine that recommend how to thread the machine. It's pretty simple. I am going to use the top set of instructions. Let me make sure I'm not telling you wrong. Nope, I'm not going to use the top set of instructions. I'm going to use the bottom set of instructions. The top set of instructions has one extra step that I don't find necessary for this weight of thread, so I skip that section. Excuse me, that step in the instructions that are in the on the top, that are illustrated on the top. So I'm going to follow the bottom ones. Again, this is not going to be relevant to you if you do not have a Janome HD9, but this will be the point where you are threading your own machine in whatever manner is appropriate. So I'm going to continue to thread my machine. It is pretty simple and easy once you have done it many, many times, as I have. And I have threaded my machine. And now I am threading the needle. I don't use my automatic needle threader. I don't find that it is helpful at all. I just, luckily my eyesight with my glasses still allows me to see well enough to thread the machine. And now I'm going to pull up the bobbin thread by holding the thread tail and pressing and see, it doesn't always work. I'm kind of glad that happened, because now I can show you how I remedy that issue. So it looks like my bobbin had slid out of the bobbin case when I pushed it in. So there you go. Don't do like me and don't follow the instructions the way that you're supposed to. Hold it taut so that it is fully aligned within the case before you push it into the area where it snaps in. All right, let's try this again. And we're gonna lower the needle. And this time when I raised it and pulled on the thread tail, I was able to pull up the bobbin thread. So now I am fully threaded and ready to go. Tails behind, and now we are ready to get started.